Shalom, welcome to Practical Spirituality here at Beis Hashem in Nachalot, Yerushalayim. We are here to transform our lives in the moment-by-moment experience. You have to be in a process of transformation happening basically at all times if you want to experience life. See, a lot of people think that they can just push off transforming their lives. Like, I don't mean push it off a lot, meaning they'll like sign up for this, that starts in 6 weeks, or they'll do, whatever. They're going to really work on themselves with this new chavrusa or something, and they're thinking that transforming their life is important, and it's certainly something they're doing, and it's certainly something they're going to do. But it is a bit on hold in the process, meaning you're like, I'm in process, I'm in process. But what I'd like to share with you is that you have to be transforming your life constantly. Constantly. And there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it where you can transform your life constantly. And if you transform your life constantly, I can guarantee you that you will experience life fully. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the promise first, because, in sales, you got to offer something. So what I'm offering you is to have your life experienced fully. I mean, that's what most people smoke cannabis for, is they want to okay, everyone's going to the movie, but they want to really experience the movie. Everyone's going to the concert, but they want to really experience the concert. Everyone's going to the kumsitz, but they want to really experience the kumsitz. And grab this seat's the best. So people are out to, we all want to experience life. I mean, you've been given eyes, you've been given a nose, you've been given, taste, you've been given touch, you've been given the Swiss Alps, you've been given sports, you've been given, everything. And all of this that you've been given to experience your life with has to be experienced. But guess what? You're not experiencing your life. You're not experiencing your life. I bet you there's some of you sitting here right now who are thinking the following words. Like, I'm talking, but all you're hearing is the following. All you're hearing right now is, okay, I don't know what he's talking about right now. Where is he going with this? Okay, I'm sitting down in this room, in this session here. How long is it going to go? You got a whole commentary going on. You've got an actual commentary going on inside your brain as I'm speaking. So are you experiencing what I'm saying, or are you experiencing your commentary on what I'm saying? Take a moment and stop for a second. Stop with your commentary and feel the temperature in the room on 4. We're going to snap together on 4. Both hands. Ready? 1. It's going to be together. 1, 2, 3. Let's try it on 4. 1, 2, 3. And feel the temperature. Hear the sound of the white noise outside. This guy was walking in. Come on in. Everyone check him out fully and experience it. Come on in. Oh, good. I was hoping you were going to learn with us. Yeah. Check. You learning with us?
We're learning.
Yes. Amazing. There's chairs over here. Come by the window. You like air. Yeah, you're not a four-walled guy, Want to say hi to everyone online?
Hey, okay.
Bring in some of those chairs. Oh, he wants to sit on the floor. He's sitting on the floor. People are different. People have different elements in them. So, I have a feeling you're earth. You're earth. Although when I see you in the mikvah, I'm like, he's water. But the fact that you work with your hands and you're wearing boots on a hot day, you're earth, I was just at a concert, Motzi Shabbos. It was the Shlomo Carlebach. Oh, there's a guitar. Oh, bring that guitar over here. It even has a strap. Come on, give it to the rabbi. Give it to the rabbi. Oh, yeah. Steel string. This is great. This is great. Can I borrow your pick? I don't care if it's in your mouth. It's in tune. Guys want some heavy metal? Yeah. Nah. How about some funk? I remember that. What I'm doing is messing with you guys this whole time, so that your commentary in your head just going like, I don't know what to do now. Like, how do I deal with this? You know. And what it does is it puts you into experience. Snap on 4. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. Hear the sound. Feel the air on your skin. Feel the fibers of your clothing. Sense the guitar. I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams crumble to the ground, though I refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Same old song. Nothing lasts forever but the earth and sky. It slips away. And all your money won't another minute buy. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Dust in the wind. Everything is dust in the wind. And you're probably the only one who knows that song. And what I want to share with y'all, what I want to share with y'all is that life is, your body is covered with nerve endings. Those were your audio nerves. These are your optic nerves. Your body's covered. You know, when we get in that cold water in the mikveh over there, it's just like, wow. It's like every nerve is like, wow. And I try to do extra breathing as it comes up my spine, you know, as I'm getting in, and just like oxygenate my blood and to experience it fully. And that's one of the reasons why people love swimming. What is it about swimming that to me it's like I go to a public swimming pool, you know, there's more meat than soup in there. And what is the pleasure? I grew up with a swimming pool in West LA, you know, with the tennis court and the swimming pool. I mean, we had a room just dedicated to pool, you know, and we had a room just for ping pong. We had a room about 5 times bigger than this room, which was dedicated to music. Obviously, most of it was audience, but, you know, grand piano and all the amplifiers, full bandstand, drums, everything. And but I just can't understand it. But all these people, they want to have their nerve endings have direct contact with water because they want to experience life. Everyone snap on 4. 1, 2, 3. Take a breath. And experience your life. This is life, man. And it's coming at you. It's raw. It's raw. But here's the thing, is that a lot of people are scared of life. A lot of people are scared of life. A lot of people, They can't find the pause button, you know? How would I pause my father? You ever notice every time you speak to your father, he downloads a little bit of his worldview? You know, he has to give a little of his hashkafa, as if you have no idea what your dad believes, you know? It's like, how is it possible? You didn't figure out in like your first 12 years of your life everything he believes. Tell me, did you? Yeah, of course. Does he stop? No. He won't stop downloading everything he wants you to know. And what happens is, the second that happens, I'm just going to use dads as an example. The second your father or your mother, if you're a woman watching this, but the second your father or your mother starts downloading their, broken record of what they believe, tell me, do you feel like you're 26? Do you feel like you're 6? Which one?
I think like I have all of them.
Couldn't hear that? What did you say?
I said I feel like I have all of them. I feel like I have every age, and like sometimes I'm one of them, sometimes I'm a different one.
Okay, but do you understand what I'm saying? You guys know what the answer is. When your father's downloading what he believes about this world that he thinks you should know, even though you already know this stuff, is you feel like you're 6. Now, anyone want to feel like they're 6? Anyone want to feel like they're 6? How long you spend on the phone with someone who makes you feel like you're 6? As quickly as possible. You can get off the phone, get back to safety. I mean, I think probably most therapists, if not all therapists, probably a good 70% of their money is just parents.
What do you mean? What's parents?
Meaning people dealing with the lack of safety they feel when they're in a relationship with their parent, when they have to deal with their parents.
That's your 70% of the value.
Probably 70%. I know I went to therapy as a kid. I'm from California. Your therapist was like, it just comes with the program,
Right.
And I would say a lot of the discussions were about my father, and I know my daughters go, they've been to therapy. There was a lot of discussion about my wife. Now, I have not asked my sons about. I don't think my sons go to therapy. I think they actually go out to the mountains and just, trip with God and deal with. Yeah, they're doing their therapy out in nature, I think. But I imagine I've come up. I'm not a simple father, that's for sure. If you were here in earlier classes, you know what I'm talking about. Remember the mountain bike crashes for the little guy? The kid after he falls down the entire mountain. I'm like, get back up there and try it again, because you're not going to leave the mountains until you can descend that trail. And he realizes he's stuck and he's going to have to go back. And it's not easy to be my son. I've lightened up a bit on my younger boys, a little. Not in the mountains, just other things. So, just as a side point, I was asking my wife if I should do something for my daughter, and she said, only if you want her to do that for your grandchildren. And I was like, I'll be back in an hour. And I was raised with, you guys know what helicopter parenting is? That's how people raise kids today, where they're like keeping an eye on them at all times. They're just hovering over the kid at all times. It's called helicopter parenting. It's a great way to ruin a child.
It worked pretty good for you?
No, I had telescopic parenting. I think that's him over there somewhere.
Look what you became.
Yeah, with telescopic parenting, I had absolutely zero supervision. Zero, from a very, very, very young age. Thank God the closest pedophile lived about 11 zip codes away. I grew up where all the mansions were in LA. I'm only here from a miracle of a bankruptcy. That my father's business went bankrupt, and before he could sell the mansion, I wound up on a free trip to Asia Torah, and the rest is history. But it was a miracle. That bankruptcy was a miracle. All my brothers became observant. My parents became observant. The whole became observant. They became from the miracle of this bankruptcy. And then he sold his house, and he just bought another house and lives off the money of that house ever since. Yeah. So what I want to share is that life is about experience. But what gets in the way of experience? What gets in the way? I already gave it away, but I'm going to see if any of you can pick it out just from a test. What do you think gets in the way of experience? Because we're talking about experience. Let's do it again. Snap on 4. Ready? Everyone snap. 1, 2, 3. What gets in the way of that? What gets in the way of hearing that guitar? What gets in the way of, okay, someone pointed their head. The mind, yeah, what else?
The commentary of the mind.
Commentary of the mind, good. We spoke about that a bit, but let's go deeper now.
The heart.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely emotional. Something emotional. What?
Past experiences.
Past experiences. What kind of past experience? The good ones? Probably the traumatic ones, the little T's. Okay? Little T's. You should know little T's is the worst trauma in the world. Big T's is like rape and murder and, that's the big T's. You'd say that's the worst trauma, except what? Those people usually get help. The little T's are the embarrassed in class and couldn't really read well and tough Shabbos tables and Tati keeps forgetting him in shul and he's walking in the store with his mother and he pulls on her skirt only to realize it's someone else. Ah! Those little T's are like where most of the trauma is of this planet. The big T's is that's obviously heavy duty stuff that needs proper therapy. But the little T's, what's the therapy for the little T's? You're going to go to a therapist for having been embarrassed in class. You're going to go to a therapist because someone walked in on you when you were in the bathroom as a kid. The therapist just be like, I don't know about that, but maybe you got something a little heavier than that. So, but those little T's add up. Boy, do they add up. And let me explain something. Listen carefully. This is going to be crazy what I'm about to say. But let's just call that area to your left as the past, and let's call this area to your right as your right.
Left.
This is your left, right?
This is left. It's all right.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's the future. Okay. Let's call this area to your left the past, okay? And the area to your right is your future. Got it? Now, everything that ever happened to you as a kid, all the little T's, everything that ever happened, including stuff that's ongoing like your father. That's what the hint was that we spoke. Notice I segued automatically to fathers because fathers universally bring up stuff for sons, and we're all a bunch of men in here. So it's like, I went to that example. But those little T's, including father today, downloading his hashkafa, making you feel like you're 6 years old, all of those things in the past are being shot. Like you're taking your pooper scooper, that's what rich people walk dogs with. You're taking your pooper scooper, digging it into the past, all the little T's of your past, all the little traumas of the past, and you're going like this, and flinging it into the future so that you can now navigate in your life to somehow make sure that none of that stuff from back there ever happens again. You got what I'm talking about? Now, are you experiencing life when you're...
Explain that one. You explain it, sorry.
I'll say it again. You've been taking your pooper scooper, digging it into all the past little T's, all those past traumas, which again, they're little things, they're nothing. You don't remember them. Oh, one of the ways we know they're little is you probably don't remember 90% of them. But they're painful things. They were painful at the time.
Block them out or you don't remember them?
Well, you don't remember them. They weren't that painful, but they're painful enough. They were there. And they are there. And then what you did was you dig your shovel in the past and you fling all that trauma into the future. Why? So that you can now navigate a kiddush. You're going to a kiddush, you got to navigate. It's people there. You could be insulted. You could be inferior to the guy you're sitting next to. Or you're now heading into Beis Midrash, or now you got a Gemara open or something, and it reminds you of all the times where you just had so much trouble learning. You understand? So like you're not experiencing the Gemara. You're experiencing all the past learning issues, including possible abuse of power by Rebbes growing up. That I don't know if you ever got smacked or or got embarrassed publicly, or I don't know what happened to you. But that's all on your Daf Gemara while you're sitting and learning into the future. And dealing with money, and dealing with health. I know there's probably a few of you in here that know that you should be in better shape. I know there's a few of you that know you should be eating better. I know there's some of you that know that there's a certain amount of sleep you need, but you're not getting it. And so what's happening is you got the past wrapped up in the future, and now you're navigating the future, which is coming into this moment, like literally right here, right now, coming into the present right here. But it's so raw, where's the pause button? How do you pause experience? How do you pause it? And the answer is you pause it by coding it. You want to code it with a coding. By coding it with everything that ever happened to you in the past, so that you can somehow watch out for red flags, so that you can somehow navigate it. So some poor fool's paying $50,000 for this wedding. And there's 500 people at the wedding trying to survive the wedding.
Wow.
When's the last time you heard the guitarist for $700? There he is ripping some solo. In my music world, he's considered like someone deeply respected. But you're just someone at a wedding. You didn't even see it. You didn't see there was a guitar player. You know, it's a band. Band, which is what you did. You just, because that's what the brain does. Because when the brain is trying to survive the people at the wedding, that the band, which is made up of its members, who are each at the top of their game, these guys have dedicated their lives to their instruments. And you're not even, first of all, you didn't even know he's there. You didn't even know that guitar player's there. And you didn't hear a note he played. And here's this guy's ripping solos. Do you need to go? You okay? You need to go? This guy's ripping solos. Should I rip a solo? So this guy's, your action's too high for ripping solos. You just have to shave down this, shave this thing down a little, or that one, or turn the rod. But you got to bring the strings closer to the neck. Yeah, let me just finish the sentence up. This guy's ripping solos and no one hears it. Because you can't experience life unless you are clean. Nikias, you gotta be clean. You understand? Do you guys getting this? Meaning you gotta put the past where it belongs. Where does the past belong? Everyone's saying the past. Where does the past belong? Say it louder. Where does the past belong?
In the past.
You have to put the past where it belongs. The past belongs in the past. And then once the past is in the past, what's in the future? Everyone say? Nothing. Nothing except Hashem's will and wisdom. There's nothing in the future. And now I'm just like living into the future, like, wow. And all of a sudden I hear the music, I taste the food, I connect to my loved ones. My father can talk all he wants about whatever he is he loves to download, and all I see is just the cutest man in the world. He's so cute. It's just so sweet. And notice that he only does this with you. He's never called any of your friends. He's never called any of your neighbors. He hasn't called any of his work colleagues about this stuff. Only you. And why would he only call you about this stuff? Why does he only download his hashkafa to you? And the answer is because he loves you. And all of a sudden, you start becoming someone who lives in the moment, taking full responsibility for how you hear your father. And he's just the cutest thing ever. And he's the sweetest man in the world, doing his absolute best with not a lot of skills. And we all know if you were watching a video, if you were watching a YouTube video, just a cool, cute video about some guy who's just not very good at things. I don't know, maybe he's special needs or something. He's putting all of his effort in it to like tie a shoe, you know. You would actually watch the video because you know he's going to make the bow in the end. Like, you know, you watch a whole 1 minute short to have that kid tie that frickin' bow, you know, so you can celebrate it. But here's your father, you know, with like very few skills, but has mustered the ability to at least download what he thinks is important to the person he loves the most. And that's gone right over your head for years and years. Why? Because you have your past wrapped up in the future. But as soon as you let the past go there, and then you see your father, and all of a sudden he's alive, just like the sound of the guitar. All of a sudden he's here and you're here. And you're connected and you're together. Okay, so maybe hit the lights and we'll do a little meditation. Stop with the seeds so you can do some meditation. Stop with the seeds so you can close your eyes, breathe. Everyone close your eyes and breathe. Take in a deep breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath and now release. Long exhale. Inhale deep. Hold your breath, eyes closed. Holding your breath. And exhale. One more. Hold your breath. Release. Thinking about your father, breathing normally now. Just thinking about your father and breathing quiet, normal. You hear him leaving the driveway, 10 of 9. For the last 30 years, he's been right on time. He didn't always make it home till you went off to bed. And though you felt alone, at least he made it home. He couldn't help with your homework, he had too much to do. But sometimes when you finished, he would read it through. You didn't want to interrupt, but at times it couldn't wait. And though he made you mad, he was still your dad. He is still my daddy. He's the only one I own. He is still my daddy. Guess I don't want to change him after all. After all. Once he made up his mind, it did no good to fight. You didn't ask his opinion, he was always right. But he taught you not to give up hope, how to take it till the end. And though it may seem grim, you're a lot like him. He is still my daddy. He's the only one I own. He is still my daddy. Guess I don't want to change him after all. After all you are and all you're not, that's the father I've got. all you are and all you're not. That's the Father I've got. All you are and all you're not. That's the Father I've got. All you are and all you're not. That's the Father I've got. You ever noticed your Father is exactly who he exactly is to the millimeter? And he's exactly not who he is exactly not to the millimeter. And you could say to yourself that you'd be a lot closer to him if he would only change. But he's not going to change. But you can transform your life. And the way you transform your life is by taking all the stuff, the little T's of your past, and getting aware of how you've been throwing them into your future, which neutralizes them, and all of a sudden, you're able to experience life, and you're able to experience your Father. Try these words, keep your eyes closed, take a deep breath. All you are and all you are not. Together. All you are and all you're not. That's the Father I've got. All you are and all you're not. That's the Father I've got. All you are and all you're not. That's the Father I've got. All you are and all you're not. That's the Father I've got. Sometimes when it's late at night, I think about my dad. I just want him to know that I love him so. Get in touch with the heartbeat of your Father. It's not going to beat forever. Say the words to your Father that need to be said. Take full ownership of how you've been treating the situation. Own it. Stop pointing your fingers at him. When you point your finger at somebody, realize there's 3 more pointing right back at you. There's something from your past that he triggers, and it's most likely the fact that he wiped your nose for 14 years. It's very hard to be a man in the lifetime of your father. Very hard not to be reduced into a little boy. Stop pointing your finger. Point your finger at yourself. You're trying to protect yourself from the one person who would sell his home to pay for a medical emergency or to deal with some legal emergency. You're protecting yourself from the one person who would do absolutely anything for you. Say the words to your Father that need to be said before it's too late. And the words are together. Sometimes when it's late at night, I think about my dad. I just want him to know that I love him so. Take a deep breath, sing with me. Sometimes when it's late at night, I think about my dad. I just want him to know that I love him so. He is still my daddy, you can sing. He is still my daddy. He's the only one I own. He is still my daddy. He's the only one I own. He's the only one I own. He is still my daddy. Guess I don't want to change him after all. Guess I don't want to change him after all. I don't want to change him after all. After all. After all. hear the heartbeat of your father, your heartbeat of the beautiful child that you are. The numbers 1 through 5. At 5, opening up your eyes, coming up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Opening up your eyes. You hit the lights. So, gentlemen, how did we start this class? What were the first words of the class? You got to be transforming your life at all times. What was the second part of the class? The second part of the class is that your body has been lined with nerve endings. You've been given a conscious soul inside of you to experience life. Well, what gets in the way of experiencing life? So what gets in the way of experiencing life is that we are busy with navigating the future via the past. It's like we're sitting on the windshield of our car. It's like we're sitting on, the dashboard. It's like you're sitting on the dashboard of your car and driving, looking out the back window. You understand? We're going that way, but we're looking back to see how we can somehow survive all the little T's of our upbringing. The example we gave was fathers, but there's a million examples. Like, for example, the social experience of being at a wedding. But notice you don't hear the band. You don't hear the guitar player. You don't hear nothing. Then we did a little meditation about our fathers so that we can kind of see through our stories about him and recognize that he's just was doing his best with what he's got, like the little kid tying his shoe on the YouTube short who's Down syndrome. You know, and we're going to watch that YouTube short and clap when he finishes. And so, too, we're going to do the same thing with our Father, that every act our Father does with us, we're going to experience it fully as an experience of love and being loved by your Father. But it's not just that. That was just an example. And weddings are examples, and work is examples, and money is examples. What does money bring up from your past? What do females bring up from your past? Maybe that's why you're still single. What do women represent? What did your mother represent? That'd be a good indication of what females represent. You got to know that stuff and know what it brings up for you. Because, okay, I know what she represents, and I know what it brings up for me.
So you got to go into the past.
Well, not too much. Because you know why? You don't have to go back into it, really. Why? Because all I have to do is just see what's coming at me. What's coming up for me? Oh, what's coming up for me right now is rejection at this kiddish. I'm at a kiddish. Rejection's coming up. Hey, you want to travel all the way back and see where your first rejection was? Probably most people wouldn't even remember. So do we really need to go back there? Not really. All I know is right now is that I can't taste the herring. I don't taste the herring. I'm not tasting the kugel. I'm not enjoying the whiskey because I'm too busy, or I can't even drink the whiskey because my stomach's too tight from the social, social anxiety that I'm having. I can't even enjoy the kiddish. So then I can just ask myself, well, what's all this bring up for me? Well, if you're really honest, it'll bring up something like I'm a loser, or I'm unwanted, or I'm unloved, or I'm unimportant. It'll bring up something about you that you secretly believe. And then you could just say, am I a loser? Am I unimportant? Do I not matter? Like, you look around the room and you see a kiddish with 200 guys enjoying themselves. And you're like, could it possibly be that I am a statistical anomaly? Am I a statistical anomaly that I'm the one guy who's unlovable here? Because you realize everyone else in the kiddish seems great. Everyone else is great. How could it be that you're statistically the one guy who doesn't belong here? It's nuts. And that's why, you know, once you get through all this, you do belong there. And that's how I can like move backstage so easily. You know, I was at the Carlebach concert at Binyane Oma. Now the tickets sold out a week before, so we didn't get tickets, and so we couldn't really get in with tickets. But I said to my wife, you know, like most of life, 99% of life is showing up. Let's show up to the concert. And so we got in the car, and we drove to Binyane Oma, and we walked up to the guards at the side of the door, and we're like, listen, it's pretty late in the concert now. A lot of people are leaving. You mind if we go in? He's like, I guess I could let you in and get fired, but my whole job is to stop you from going in there. So I don't think that's going to happen. So I could take a no. And I said, so what's over in that direction? You know, because he was a right turn. I said, what's over? He says, nothing over there. I said, okay, well, we're going to go see nothing. So we go over to see nothing. It turned out it was backstage, and right there's Yehuda Solomon from the Moshav band, and big hug, Yehuda, what's up? He made Aliyah Baruch Hashem, and here he is with 2 kids, and we're like, yeah, what's back here? He's like, oh, this is backstage. We just got off stage. Shlomo Katz is going on. You got to see him. And I'm like, he goes, oh, take this wristband. And his kid pulls off their wristband, and they put the wristbands into our shirt a little, you know. And I go up to this glass door. I'm like, you know, there was a lady behind the counter, pressed a button. Next thing I know, I'm backstage, but not just backstage. I was on the side, you know, where all the fog machines are, and I'm watching Shlomo Katz, you know, thumbs up to the clarinet players, a friend of mine, Balti's on clarinet, and we're just rocking with the band. I'm like, I'm on stage. My wife and I are both on stage in the wings, enjoying the Shlomo Katz concert. And it's like, once you start to roll with, I belong exactly here, people start getting the vibration. You understand? Like you can just go right up to first class of the plane you're on and meet everybody, you know, because you belong there 100%. Do you belong sitting there? No. But you definitely belong there. And so you go in there and schmooze with all the people. There's a lot of interesting people there who have had a lot less fear than most, so they're very interesting to talk to. And, you know, talking to someone who's full of fear is not that interesting. Talking to someone who's broken through most of their fear is very interesting. And it's amazing where life takes you when you stop being governed by your fear. And that's business class on El Al flights. Not everybody, you know, but it's certainly a lot of them. And so it's a nice club of people that you get to meet them, and they want to talk all about, they generally like talking about work, and they tell you everything they're doing, and it's exciting to be with them. But you belong there. You belong everywhere. You understand? It's statistically impossible that you're the one guy that doesn't belong in the social situations that are causing you anxiety. And it's impossible that anything you believe about yourself negative is true. Nothing. Is someone willing to be a volunteer up here? Someone doesn't mind being on YouTube? One guy, come on. Ellie. Ellie. Come here, Ellie, come up to me. Just keep going. Follow my voice. Ellie is sight challenged. We're giving a hug since you're coming up.
Yeah. Which way am I facing the camera? All right.
Face
Hi,
camera.
Hi,
Yeah.
people.
A little more there.
You're not
Okay.
a camera, you're people. You're actual human beings who are watching this in this moment.
Yes, exactly. So, Ellie, you know, you're a great example because how long are you not sighted?
I'm blind from 1 year old.
From 1 year old?
Yeah.
Okay.
No memory of seeing.
So you have no memory of seeing.
Yeah, same thing as like sort of being blind from birth.
Okay. So no memory of seeing. And tell us all, if you're willing to be honest with all of us, tell us the harshest belief you were having about yourself at any point in your life based on your not being able to see. Because this is like, all of you are sighted, and now he's going to tell us a belief he had about himself that would have held him back.
So
The harshest.
A belief when I was 12, 13 was I receive a lot more than I give.
That's not a negative belief about yourself. That's a realization that you've been receiving a lot and you'd like to start giving. Beliefs
give you
beliefs would
another
be
one.
something like unwanted, damaged, damaged goods, incompetent.
So at 17, 18, I believe that many friends were seeing me as a chesed project
Excellent.
rather than actual sincere friendship.
Excellent. So we're going to go a bit harsher with that. Because
And
a
what did
ches-
that do for me? I
Wait.
identified
First we
myself-
need to go to the word. So it wasn't that you're a chesed project, but that you are a what? When you're a chesed project, what's that make you?
I'm going to take a moment and consider that.
Yeah, go into your heart. Go in here. What are you saying about yourself when you're a chesed project? Because the chesed project vis-a-vis them, I'm asking, what were you saying inside as their chesed project?
I'm unlovable
Excellent.
in like the deepest kind of love.
Wow.
Like the deep, deep kind of love. Not me.
Wow. Everyone in this room now, give a pop if that's one of your beliefs is unlovable. Give a pop, be honest. Pop. Okay. Unlovable. Now, I want you to see Eli when he was an infant. Okay? I'm holding him as a little infant. Okay? He's the cutest kid in the world. All I want you guys to say is yes each time I ask you a question. Is he lovable? Yes. Now he's 3. I'm holding a little toddler. Is he lovable?
Yes.
Now he's 10. Lovable?
Yes.
Now he's 11. Now he's 15. Now he's 18. Now he is, how old are you?
23.
23. Is he lovable? At what point did he become unlovable? And the answer is, begins with an N-E-V-E-R. When did he become unlovable? Never. But for himself, unlovable was what was happening deep down for him. And he was going through life with unlovable being kind of the past shot into the future. So now he has to navigate into the future as unlovable, at which point he's going to make sure he's going to be, and you ready for this? We're going very deep today. Sorry to go this deep, but to be a giver. You're going to be a giver. You're no longer a chesed case. You're going to give. Am I wrong? And tell me if I'm wrong. I want you only what you resonate with.
It's true.
What did you do about being a chesed case? I think you became a giver because ever since I've known you, you're giving.
So that came later.
Oh.
Initially, what I did was learn to set healthy boundaries and healthy expectations. I taught my friends how they're relating to me. You don't walk me to somewhere because I don't know where to go. You walk me to somewhere because I enjoy your company, and unless it is actually true that I don't know where to go, in which case, honestly, thank you. But I'm careful to manage people's expectations. That's where it started.
Excellent.
And reminding myself, really internalizing, there are a bunch of people actually choosing to sit next to me. And allowing that to really, really like get in there. The chesed piece came really once I was married.
Nice, nice, yeah.
That's when the kelim were really there.
Nice. Which makes a lot of sense because now you have a home, and now you can give properly. So what I would like to, what I wanted to share is that the beliefs you have about yourself never actually happened, meaning nothing ever happened, that make them true. A lot of stuff happened. He has his blindness, meaning his not being able to see, happened. And the stuff that happened to us, all the little T's happened. But what it meant about us never happened. You get that?
Yeah, it's true.
For example, when I was 10 years old, I was humiliated. It was really bad. And I really wanted to be accepted by the people who humiliated me. So I just decided I'm unacceptable. Now, if a bunch of people humiliate me that I wanted to accept me, does that make me unacceptable? No, it just means I was humiliated in a situation. By the way, they weren't trying to humiliate me. It was my own head doing it. No one was doing anything really. But I just got embarrassed, terribly humiliated, and because it was public, I just decided.
That didn't actually do humiliate you.
What?
That didn't actually give you humiliate you.
Well, that's why he was a great example, because he actually could not see and was a chesed case. And therefore, everyone's just doing chesed and no one really loves him. Got it? So he's the best case, because here's something that actually happened. But the thing is, none of it's true. So all the stuff,
Mamish so untrue, I
right?
can tell you.
All the stuff that we had happened to us that's from the past, that we believe certain things about ourselves. We dug our shovel in there, flipped it into the future so that we can now somehow navigate and make sure we don't wind up in another situation. That puts us right back to that crushed position. And you want to know, one of the guys here in this yeshiva said to me that he feels like he's ready to get married. It's been a lot of years. He's in his 30s already, and he's like, he's ready to get married. And I said to him, okay, that's great, but you better know why you're not married till now. If you can't articulate that, if you can't articulate what is back there that you were flinging into the future of being able to date for marriage, if you don't know what that is, if you have not identified, and again, it's not identifying the past. Earlier you were saying, do I have to go back to that? No, I have to identify what I'm saying now. Yes, I mean, you want to go figure it all out, go to a therapist, pay a couple $1,000, go every week, or go to a hypnotherapist. They're good at bringing you to the past. Forget the past. I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about now. What are you saying about yourself now? Is it based on something? For sure. But the funny thing is that everyone has the same thing. We all have it, so who cares what happened to you? Obviously, if it's a big T trauma, that you got to do trauma therapy. But if it's all the little T traumas, which is what happened to most of us, you don't have to go back there. What are you going back there for? What do we need the past for? We're living right here, right now. Oh, I got some beliefs about myself that I'm somehow coding the future with so I can somehow navigate these stupid things that I'm saying about myself, which are so random, statistically impossible. Not true at all. And yet in common with most people, because everyone's believing the same stuff about themselves. And then I can neutralize it, tase it, and now walk into the future of experience. Everyone snap your fingers on 4. 1, 2, 3. Take a breath. Feel the air on your skin. Feel the fibers of your clothing. Hear the sounds, low frequencies, the highs. You hear the guitar now. You hear the saxophone. You taste the food. Your stomach's relaxed. Stomach's relaxed. None of that anxiety, social tightness. Peace.
And how was that?
Thank you very much, everybody. Let's hear it for Ellie also. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, if anyone has questions, I can take questions. Go ahead, you ripped it.
How is that by breathing and doing what? How does that work? That makes you enjoy the moment?
Well, I was tricking you guys with certain ways of snapping and
Getting out of
did some music to like knock you out of it. We spoke about water. Water is a great way. We're all drawn to water, nature. All these stimulation can overstimulate your dead senses. But that wasn't what we discussed. We went much deeper than that. What we did was we identify, I'm going to say it clearly, we identify the things we believe about ourselves, negative beliefs. We identify the negative beliefs we believe about ourselves that are getting triggered by the upcoming situation. You understand? And yeah, since we're live, I'll just share that I have, 24 years ago, I started a seminar that now has 14,000 graduates called The Possible You. Anyone here did The Possible You? I don't think anyone here did it. So let me just explain. What is The Possible You? Think about it. If you're digging the past, if you're digging your shovel in the past, flinging it into the future, is your future possible or predictable? Which one? Predictable. Really predictable. In every situation, you can basically predict how you're going to act. Because for years, you've been in these survival patterns. So it's called The Possible You because it puts the past in the past so that you can live into infinite possibilities, the way an infinite being creates the world. And all of a sudden, you get like a total reboot on your life. And you can experience everything fully. So I just want to share that I'm running Possible You seminars. If you know anyone in Borough Park, if you know anyone in New York area, even New Jersey, meaning near North New Jersey, I'll be in Brooklyn next Sunday, meaning not this Sunday, but next Sunday. I'm flying Motzei Shabbos, but I'm going to be in Brooklyn next Sunday for the Possible You. It's possibleyou.org. And I'll be in Muncie, which is all the country people too, all the, Curious George, Curious Yoel. I'll be in Muncie area for the following week. So the 1st of December is Brooklyn. The 7th of December is Muncie. And guess what? January, I forget the date, January 17th, Jerusalem. And I have full staffed branches in every city, but Jerusalem's the only place, I don't know why, and I live here, that I only do it a couple times a year. It's only a few times a year, and maybe one time in a year. But it's happening on January 17th. So put in your calendar, get yourself there. It's going to be a phenomenal 5 nights. It's about 6 hours a night. We'll be together from 6:30 to 11:30. It's just like this. It's fully like lights off, lights on, guitar playing. I have 3 whiteboards. We're charting. We're literally a giant chart of your entire life of what you shovel into the future. So you have that all charted.